Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Thomas Mergel, and if you've noticed, I've changed the name of this YouTube channel. It should just say Thomas Mergel and then in parentheses, Headbang or GTFO. When I started the channel 8 years ago or something like that, it just said Thomas Mergel. So I went back to that because, well, that's my name and I have it on everything I do. So if anybody has a question as, who's that guy that runs Headbang or GTFO? Oh, it's Thomas Mergel. So hopefully that'll just help out any confusion that anybody has if they're trying to get a hold of me or see who the hell I am. But today on Nice Cans episode 50, we have some updates, nothing major. It was kind of a slow day, but I'll begin the day talking about the new Devil Driver music video for My Night Sky. Very good music video. If you haven't checked out their newest album, that one being called Trust No One yet, do it. Just do it. It's on Napalm Records. Devil Driver are back on their A game when it comes to their songwriting. Dez's vocals are always good, but they've never sounded better. Probably their first good album, great album in 8 years, something like that. Because Pray for Villains was okay, Beast was okay, Fury of Our Maker's Hand was awesome, and I think that was like maybe 2004. So it's been a long time. And their new album, Trust No One, is freaking awesome. Speaking of bands who have been out for a while now and have just released a really good album and a music video, Hatebreed, they released a new music video for Something's Off. The music video itself is okay. The song is awesome. The album, The Concrete Confessional, that is a really good album. It is Hatebreed. Hatebreed just used to be nothing but just heavy grooves and Josta just screaming. And while Josta still doesn't have the oomph in his voice that he had with earlier stuff like Perseverance and the one before that, I forget what it's called. It's up there, but I forget what it's called. He is still raw. He still has a raw, throaty, powerful vocal style about him, and it's really good. The songwriting is like classic Hatebreed mixed with some just newer, heavier mentalities, and it's really good stuff. So I'll have that music video for Something's Off linked down below. Revocation had an Ask Me Anything on Reddit 2 days ago, so make sure you check that out. I have it linked down below. People are asking about what's their favorite Men of War album, what kind of jobs do you guys have, what are your favorite albums of 2016, and so here you go. It was Dave Davidson, who was answering these questions. I think it could have been anybody, but I'll just read this off right here. What are your favorite metal albums of 2016 so far? And Revocation Official responds with Worms, Kriegshoe, Gorguts, Palladius Dust, Crowless, Hyperion, Enter Armon, Paradise Gallows, Plebeian Grandstands, False Highs, True Lows, and they are incredibly pumped for the new Defeated Sanity split that is coming out tomorrow. And other than that, it was a really slow day. You had, Metal Hammer released 100 best metal albums of the 21st century, and we're only 16 years into the 21st century, and they released a pretty ballsy list, and named Slipknot's Iowa as the number one metal album to be released in the past 16 years. Now, I have mixed feelings about this because, if it was 2002 and I was 16, 17 again, I'd be like, fuck yeah, man, Iowa's the shit. And honestly, I'm 31 years old now, and I'm still thinking, yeah, Iowa is still the shit. Iowa is my favorite album by Slipknot. That is the album that got me into death metal. I wanted to listen to death metal after Iowa. Iowa's the heaviest thing that I've ever heard. You have bands like Linkin Park, which I'll be talking more about them here in a minute. You had Linkin Park and Deftones and Korn and Static X and everybody who kind of kept going with their sounds that they had, and nobody really got heavier. As a matter of fact, usually all those bands that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, they got weaker. They just really didn't get heavier. And with Iowa's sophomore album, Iowa was heavy. Iowa was blast beats and double bass and really heavy riffs and incredibly harsh lyrics with Corey Taylor's best performance ever on vocals. It was one of the heaviest albums I've ever heard, and it kind of still is. It really is, considering they are not death metal. They are new metal, which I wouldn't even say that. They are just fucking heavy. They are metal. And that is probably the heaviest album outside of death metal. Now, you come out with technical death metal, blackened death metal. There are some fucking really, really good bands out there. I could bring up like Amon Amarth's with Odin on Our Side, Behemoth's Demigod, Nile's Annihilation of the Wicked. I mean, there are tons, and that's just like grazing the surface. There's a ton of fucking albums. Defeated Sanity has a couple albums out that are fucking incredible. And my point is, Slipknot kind of earns that in a way, because the album itself isn't technically the heaviest thing ever to come out in the past 16 years, but I will say that I know a ton of people that have listened to Slipknot, got Iowa, even still to this day. There's still 15-year-olds that are just now getting into heavy music. They listen to Slipknot because they are one of the most well-known bands still. Slipknot is up there with, it's like this generation's Iron Maiden, you know. I'm not saying that they are better than Iron Maiden or they are Iron Maiden, but this generation's Iron Maiden. I mean, my mom loved Iron Maiden, still does. And there's tons of kids these days that go, okay, I want to check out the heaviest thing out right now. They can Google heaviest metal album right now, or just heavy metal bands, and Slipknot will be in the top 5. So sure as shit, they will listen to Iowa. If they're anything like me, Iowa will be fulfilling for a while, and then they'll think, there's got to be better, there's got to be just heavier drums out there, heavier vocals, heavier guitar riffs. I want fucking heavier. I want consistent heavy. And then they'll go and do what I did and do more research, and then I started listening to The Berserker, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse. Slipknot's Iowa got me into death metal, so I can credit them for that. So take it or leave it for what it is. I kind of agree that it's one of the heaviest metal albums, but then again, it's not. But I have a lot of praise for that album, and it is what it is. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? And last but not least, we have Linkin Park's Chester Bennington saying that Hybrid Theory, in his opinion, they kept metal alive. Hybrid Theory, I was a teenager when that album blew up. I was a freshman in high school, and everyone listened to it. Anybody who liked rap, anybody who liked techno, anybody who liked rock, metal, it didn't matter. A lot of people loved Hybrid Theory, and they were the best-selling band that just blew up out of nowhere. I went from never hearing of them to my friend being like, "Hey, this is kind of a new thing that's out, so here you go." And I listened to it and I liked it. And I will say that, does it hold up? Fuck no. Fuck no. Linkin Park does not hold up. Do I still remember all the lyrics and the way the music goes? Yes, because it's ingrained in my memory that was just, I listened to it for a while, probably a good year. Then their next album came out, and that was good, but they petered off, definitely. And so their Chester Bennington's statement that they kept metal alive, I don't agree with, because musically, it's garbage. There's a couple good moments here and there throughout their entire discography where the guitar riffs are good. The drums and the bass have never been substantial. And honestly, I actually had this conversation with a couple friends before. I've had this conversation with my wife a couple times, that the only reason why Linkin Park even picked up anywhere, for me anyway, and for a lot of people who even listen to rock and metal, can't say for the other people who, I can't speak for everybody. And especially my friends who enjoyed rap, they definitely liked Mike Shinoda's shit. But me, the only reason why I liked Linkin Park was because of Chester Bennington's screams, as well as his singing. Very, very good vocalist. He is one of the best vocalists from that era. And besides that, Linkin Park was a band before Chester got in the band, and nobody heard of him. I actually listened to that EP, and it's garbage. And when you get Chester in there, you incorporate heavier guitar tone and distortion and everything, and then you add someone who can scream and sing, then it's legible. It's something you can relate to. It's something that was different. Nowadays, I can't. None of my friends listen to Linkin Park anymore. I think I have one buddy who may. But Hybrid Theory doesn't hold up, and the only reason why, after I've been a longtime fan, or was a longtime fan, I think the only reason why they got big was because of Chester Bennington. So maybe he could say, in my opinion, I kept metal alive. No, I think he should be saying, in my opinion, my vocals earned me a lot of money. That's all it should be. Because, yeah, I don't like Linkin Park, and I really don't know who does anymore. So thank you for watching. Kind of a long, drawn-out conversation today. I apologize. But it was fun. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.